you're quite right in saying that the majority of those protesters appear to have been dispersed to the surrounding areas. It's one of the biggest protests that Athens, the Greek capital, has seen since these austerity cuts began. Well over 100,000 people, according to estimates of the other local journalists that I've been speaking to, who have witnessed many of these protests over the past several years. And so I think that the fact that such heavy barrages of tear gas and stun grenades was used is an indication of just how determined the authorities are to make sure this crucial ballot in the Parliament this evening takes place with the minimum disruption.
But now we see protesters coming down the right side of the square here and entering the square and pushing the police back. Is that what you're seeing from your vantage point as well?
Yeah, it's very difficult from my vantage point here, but certainly I can make out that in the darkness below there are, I suppose, running street battles breaking out in various isolated areas between the riot police and the protesters. I can see now in the middle of the square, some of those protesters are hurling stones at the police towards the southern end of the square. And so those hardcore of protesters still very much inside. It's interesting, John, what you were saying about the demands that the German Parliament in particular want to see the Greeks, conform to, because you speak to many Greeks and they believe they've already endured too much already. They've already seen their pensions, as you mentioned, slashed, the public services slashed. I mean, almost literally, their standards of living that they were used to 2 years ago have fallen off a precipice. And so, Greeks here, and I think this hasn't been fully appreciated perhaps, many Greeks are really feeling they've hit rock bottom. They've endured 2 years of a very deep recession. Unemployment, as we mentioned, is running at close to 48% for those in the age group between 16 and 24. People just aren't getting the start in life that they need. And you speak to Greeks out in the street, and they've just had enough. They endured austerity for the past 2 years. Now they're being told by the country's government that there are more swinging cuts to come, and it's something that's just unpalatable for many people who you speak to, and that's why there's such anger and fury on the streets of Athens this evening.